Alright, what's going on guys? Chili Games back again, and this might seem pretty weird for you guys. This is, well, a Sean Bart replay on my channel, and this is definitely not a ship that I use often. The only time I usually use this is, to be honest, for the Tier 7 premium missions and I rarely play this thing. And why is that? Well, it's it's not special. I mean, everyone has it. It's one of the best. It's one of the best ships in the game, and everyone has it. That's not what the video is about. This video is about, well, I've been trying out the Vanguard, and I was like, you know what, Vanguard might be like lower tier, in terms of like competitiveness, and I think Jean Bart is definitely up there as one of the best. So I was like, you know what? Let me play the Jean Bart and let me see how much different it feels compared to something like Vanguard, because Vanguard is very difficult to play. And I've actually been watching a good bit of Flamu's videos, and I always have. But particularly, he has been doing a bunch of positioning guides, and you'll always hear him say that he's a big fan of being in a central position with the battleship, and yeah. Jean Bart is so good, mostly because you can stick your nose just like this, and the right side of me is shielded from any HE fire, and I'm going to be catching all these broadsides when well, as this entire enemy team here pretty much goes out to fish. I'm not really sure. Almost take him out. There's two consecutive citadels. Now, one thing that I'm doing here is I see a broadside cruiser, and I know how annoying HE spammers can be, mostly because I usually am one. So we take the shot. In a pretty difficult decision there, kill the Iowa, or, you know, I just don't know how good that cruiser player is. So, and also I figured that we would probably kill the Iowa, but looks like our 3 destroyers over there are just not doing much of anything except for mauling a Tashkent. Unfortunately for us, as you see behind us on that right flank there, a flank that almost nobody takes, actually gets bum rushed by an uh, entire spawn. And luckily for us, we did have to turn out there. I could not have gone forward, so we had to turn around and show a broadside to Iowa. Showing broadside in this thing is kind of a mixed bag. Obviously, you don't want to do it because you will get slapped. I got slapped for like, what is it, 12k there. Not the best, however. If I was in any other ship, that would have been Citadel City, and I could have easily lost half my health. Vanguard is not the Vanguard. Jean Bart has such a weird armor layout. It's very difficult to Citadel. So we didn't lose too much there. And so what am I doing? So we have the base is about to start being capped. There's a Z-23, obviously. However, why am I kind of running away here? I'm not really running away. I'm pretty much, well, for one, I'm trying to avoid any torps that the Z might have fired at me, so I'm out of his range. And I'm taking the long way around, and I see that he is taking the base, so I know that the base cap is going to take 3 minutes, so as long as I can get into that cap and situated in 3 minutes, then I'll be fine. I'm trying to position myself the best to where I'm safe from their enemy ships to my left in their spawn, and then I can also come into the back of our base here and contest it. This is actually a really annoying game, because as you see, our destroyers are out there to the left, and while this isn't domination, there's no objectives anyway. They are super out of position, and our whole entire side over here has no spotting against destroyers. So this Z-23 in the cap here is, well, actually there's going to be 2 of them. They have 2 destroyers right here that are actually, they have nothing to contest them. They can do whatever they want. It is honestly just a matter of time before they actually start hitting torpedoes. And as you see me looking back, I'm super frustrated, because it's like, man, like, I understand, like, you want to be out there and just torping people, but, you know, leaving battleships to defend a cap is, especially when there's two destroyers, is the last thing you want to do because, you know, there's no way we can spot them unless they're bad. And thankfully they're bad. I'll let you know. And I wasn't targeted there by those torpedoes. However, I did not want the friendly send-off to die because if he dies, guess who's next? You see me kind of altering my course and speed. I'm trying to turn. I'm trying to, you know, throw off any kind of torpedoes, and I'm trying to keep moving. And I know that I'm going to have to be in this cap circle, so I'm just edging forward and basically just trying to somewhat angle myself. And why did I load HE there? I loaded HE one because well, I was expecting, like, if I do see a destroyer, I'm going to shoot HE, and we barely missed that torpedo there. So luckily we didn't go guns blazing in that cap, because that Z20 or Z39 actually, the new tier 6 premium, would have gotten a nice little drum roll there on our bow. He is spotted. I'm not sure what he's doing, but we'll take it because he should not be spotted. And unfortunately, we don't kill him there, but we do knock his torps out. And the best thing about Bart, honestly, is since we have all our guns at the front, we don't have to angle and try to get more guns firing. So we're presenting the Z23, the Z39, the smallest profile we can, which, you know, will help us in dodging torpedoes. I don't think he got them reloaded here. Keeping HE loaded for the Vanguard because he's bow in, and obviously we're still pretty wary because of the other destroyer. So we are still spotted. So what does that tell us? Well, we are pretty far deep into this cap circle here, and that Badioni has actually been in that spot like in the mid map this entire game. So kudos for him, and not kudos for our Akatsuki who's trying to brawl Badioni with, yeah, you'll see me look over there in a second. And here you see he's still in the cap. I'm looking for, well, I was measuring how far away the cap circle was for me. Luckily we dodged that one. We don't dodge this one though, that was very close, but no flooding, so we're good to go. And at this point, I know he doesn't have torpedoes, and well, we're just gonna heal here. But I make a pretty interesting decision here. So he's spotted. However, there is literally nothing I can do. If I go around the corner, his torpedoes are probably going to be reloaded, because when a destroyer shoots his torps, you have to account for the time in which they were in the water. So they were probably in the water, you know, 10-15 seconds or so before that one hit me. And, you know, a minute can go by pretty fast when you're not paying attention. So I did not want to go chasing this guy around the corner just to figure out that he has 8 torpedoes left for me. And so I stay in the cap circle, and the reason why I'm kind of pointing away is because we have 2 ships going there. We have 2 ships going to combat this guy. We don't need to flood this guy anymore with attention. As you see, that Sinop over there was getting the torps there, and that's what I didn't want to run into. And obviously we don't have sonar, so there's really no way we can, you know, find this guy. So it's pretty much all about this guy. We're just playing the waiting game, playing it safe, and keeping our guns pointed here. I love how I had HE loaded for the Badioni, expecting the Z39. And when we shot the Badioni, we had HE, and now when we wanted to shoot HE at the Z39, we had AP loaded. So, you know, whatever. This is actually a pretty sad moment here. I'm waiting for this guy to give me a broadside, or like, especially when he turns. We don't get the kill here. I'm going ahead and heading into their base. We have plenty of people firing him, and honestly, very surprised we got a close quarters expert there. But we'll take it, you know. In my head, I was planning on that happening, but the fact that it actually happened, it kind of just blows my mind. And so what do we have next? We have just the Amagi. This game's pretty much wrapped up, and man, I just gotta say the Bart is very, very, very forgiving in how it plays. Especially when everyone else has to show a lot of broadside to get all the guns firing. Bart does its best at, you can just sit here all day, and it's pretty dang strong. And looking for our 4th kill here. No. 4 overpins. That's very disheartening. Every time I use this ship, and I don't use it a lot, it trolls me so hard. The dispersion can be very good, but it can also be very bad. So, that wasn't really dispersion, that was just, we overpinned, and that kind of sucked. Luckily, we get the kill, and something that I wasn't thinking about was these torpedoes, and thankfully, we have damage control up, and we have plenty of health, and also another thing is we get to stay bow into this Amagi, so we're going to limit the amount of damage that we take from him. And at this point I'm kind of bloodthirsty. I want the Kraken. I don't take it out often, but when I do, it will be nice to get a video for it. And honestly, if we could have stayed in that beginner spot in the beginning of the game, we could have done a lot more damage. It's weird that I found it weird that both of those Z39s pushed the way they did, because usually no one plays this side of the map, and for good reason. One, because there's not a lot of cover, and if you do want cover, you have to go all the way outside to the right there, and that is just, it takes so long. So 90% of the time, most people are going to flock to the left side of the map here, and that's why I pointed my guns that way, So, pretty good dispersion here. I get cocky and, was expecting that to kill him, but nope. If I was in the Amagi, I would have been dead there, 150%. So, this actually takes a little bit longer than I thought it would. I was getting, we don't need the Kraken, but it would be nice, not gonna lie. This is pretty good dispersion, actually. Again, good dispersion, but we were just simply bouncing and even overpinning, so, great times. So I load the HE, I'm pissed. I'm like, you know what, this is stupid. And get pretty indecisive here. I'm honestly pretty worried that I'm looking around, I'm like, who is gonna fire at this guy and take my kill? I'm waiting for it. And luckily that I was shooting HE. So we get lucky there. If we wouldn't have cycled to high explosive, we would have gotten that guy right there. Luckily for us, that was some insanely good dispersion. We squeak out the Kraken, and this is going to be my obligatory one Bart game a month. It's a good ship. I just find it quite. It's definitely really easy to play. It is the Kutuzov of battleships. Both Kutuzov and Bart are very easy in all respects to their class. So that is going to be it, guys. I really appreciate you guys, and I have upgraded to a different editing software. It's a trial, but iMovie was, the quality was kind of lacking when I was uploading. That's why I edited a video the other night or last night, and the quality was terrible, so I had to scrap it. So I hope to get some more content for you guys. And before this video ends, just thank you so much, and y'all take it easy.